Hey everyone, so today's topic is on nutritionists, or someone to teach you about nutrition. They're sometimes called nutritionists, life coaches, registered dietitians. Regardless, there are certificates that you can get to say that you've had some education, but I wanted to bring up a point. I'm traveling to my office from my house, and I'm going to show you a couple things on the way. So this is Route 59, and I'll point out a couple things. North of the border, over there, Dogfather, I believe, 2 restaurants. Taco Bell, KFC, another 2 restaurants. Back there it was ice cream place. I can't show you, but then over here you got gas station. Not really fast food, but it does have available food. Crappy food, mostly. Another gas station. If you wanted to, Walgreens. I'm kind of nitpicking. There's Wendy's over there. And the shopping center right next to me, you've got a Polish place, Subway, Chinese restaurant, McDonald's, and finally Dunkin' Donuts, and then my office. So you do the math. We just traveled on my mileage counter 1.9 miles, and I just came across those restaurants. Now, I'm not going to eat at those restaurants. I don't think I have eaten at those restaurants, but the point is, if you were hungry, if I was hungry and or I was pressed for time, then most likely I would be stopping by just to grab something because I wanted to postpone my hunger. Or I'd be trying to feed someone. I have 2 kids. I don't really cook that well. If my wife hasn't prepared anything for the kids, then it might take me a little bit of time before I put something together. So fast food might be an option. The problem would be if I embrace the fast food possibilities, that would satiate their hunger, but it also would usually cause an insulin dump afterward. Carbohydrates, if the dominant macronutrient in what you just ate, will usually cause an insulin dump, and that'll make me want to crave something of the same source in about 2 or 3 hours. Now, we don't have to talk about the details. The reason I wanted to mention this is that sometimes it's empowering to have more information. There's a lot of information on the internet, and there are great books that are out there. I have patients that are doing the Whole30, patients that are doing the blood type diet, the paleo diet, the macronutrient diet. Had a young college student doing Daniel's diet. I have gluten-free, I have the DASH diet, Mediterranean diet, the Atkins, the Pritikin, the anti-inflammatory. There's just a plethora of different things that you can see on the internet. And it's easy because now that the internet has allowed anybody to post, you can actually see a stepwise approach on what to do. That would be like the cliff notes of actually reading one of the texts. The protocols that you'll run into on the internet would be a kind of a fast approach, a truncated version, or cliff notes to thicker authored books. The problem with the books is that it takes so long to get into these things, and some of the reading is dry. So if you're not a great reader, or you don't carve out a certain time of the day, like before you go to sleep, to do your required reading, then it'll be tough to go through some of this stuff. That's why I think a lot of people just shortcut and they try to find the easiest way to apply in the fastest amount of time. The only problem is these authors do great things, but you have to know the nuances of their thinking, especially when it comes time to take on the challenges. Now, anybody can be enthusiastic about diving into a new thing, whether it's a full 360-degree lifestyle change or just a diet. If we're driven, like in January, to lose 5 pounds, good. You just stick with your diet, you lose the 5, and then your success is there. Most people usually go back to their habits after that and gain the weight back. This is the beauty where a personalized program being put together for you would be worthwhile. Registered dietitians are the classic way that Western medicine doctors get more education to patients. There's also nutritionists, life coaches, people who run boot camps, athletic trainers. Even the physical therapists that I use have a good knowledge base about maximizing on diet to get through therapy. The only question is, can you find a translator? So that's where it takes a professional, somebody with a lot of experience, proper experience, to take all that information out there, to take what they know about you and design a personal routine or a personal program to try for a short time. And then if it doesn't work, you go back to that person, they kind of construct another program and see how it fits. You keep on going back and forth until you can make something that's sustainable, that you like, that you're comfortable with, maybe even learning about cooking. When I say let's get a nutritional coach, I usually hear from my patients, well, I know what to do, I just have to do it. And as I have said in my other videos, I disagree. If the problem is now that you're 40 years of age or 50 years of age, you're 20 to 50 pounds overweight, and you want to go back to what you used temporarily in the past, the likelihood is it might not work. If it worked temporarily in the past, you're now older, so the likelihood of success or sustainability is even lower than before. This is why it's good to have a coach that can follow you through the next 5 weeks to the next 5 years. If they know your talents, they know your hungers, they know your family situation, they can always work to design or redesign another path to your summit. I like to call it reverse engineering. Whatever level that you're entering, where you're watching my video, you're coming to see me, the things that got you to this point now have accumulated. And sometimes you would think it'd be easy just take away those things that accumulated and you should be able to return back to the weight you were before or the level of fitness you were before, but you and I both know that that's hard, almost impossible to do. And that is why I think you should change the paradigm of the way you address this thing. Having me as the head coach, having a registered dietitian or nutritionist or athletic trainer as your coach in the field, my eyes in the field, in addition to having a mindful coach and an activity coach, would all be working towards that one goal of getting you to be successful and being able to sustain that summit that you attain. The bottom line with coming to the doctor's office or taking advantage of wellness is not just having a screen and the doctor patting you on the back saying, well, I don't see anything wrong, so I'll see you next year. The real objective is to find what's the problem, take care of it, but predict what's going to be the problem and steer clear of it. And unfortunately in the United States, if you live an average American life and you eat an average American diet, also called the standard American diet, you're going to wind up with 3 things for sure. High blood pressure, high cholesterol, and a pre-diabetes to a full-blown diabetes problem. The 4th thing might or might not be there, that's obesity. So it locks everything into place. But the problem is if you get to 40 or 50 and you've been kind of carrying the weight but not doing anything about it, and suddenly the 3 other things are discovered, it will be very hard at that point in your life to reverse things to get you back to where you were before. Knowing the proximity of the fast food industry and the power of advertisement on TV, on the radio, on the internet, you're fighting an uphill battle. And what better way to fight a battle than to have the strongest defense? I promise you, as your doctor, I'll do the best I can to construct a personal program, but I can't do it alone, and that's why I really have to have my team approach. So even if you've used a nutritionist in the past, or a registered dietitian in the past, or a diabetic educator in the past, please think outside the box, because I value the information these guys get. Perhaps with the personalized touch of communication I expect with my coaches, it might work this time. I want to make this exciting, I want to make it successful, and I want to make this sustainable for both you and me. Hopefully this has been helpful. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to me for weekly words of wisdom.